Two separate investigations are underway into the treatment of 20 Hungarian workers brought to Sydney on 457 visas. The construction union claims the workers have been grossly exploited, working in unsafe conditions and paid around half the amount of Australian workers. One man whose injured eye may require an operation was told to pay for it from his travel insurance. Their multinational employer and project contractor have pledged to take action, as Matt Peacock reports.
So this is one of the three houses, eh?
This is one of the three houses where all the boys are living at the moment.
These Hungarian workers were flown into Sydney last August. Since then, according to the construction union, they've been working long hours in unsafe conditions at Sydney's Blacktown, on about half the Australian wage they're entitled to. Local Hungarian-Australian Tony Day discovered their plight.
I had a colleague of mine who alerted me to the fact that there was a bunch of Hungarians orphaned and unloved.
The workers were put into three-bedroom houses like this one, 7 in each house.
On the first night in particular, they slept on the floor because there was no facilities. Now, subsequently, the company did provide linen and that sort of thing, so they were okay. But there were issues to do with furniture like tables, chairs.
Back down here, Matt's the bedroom, so the boys expected to live in. I've got the boys in here at the moment.
And there's, what, 3 people in a room?
3 people in the room, 3 to 2 people in a room, Matt.
None of the workers speak English, but as Istvan Erdai says on behalf of all of them, they now believe they've been grossly underpaid.
What they promised in Hungary is nowhere near what we have received.
So the transport costs of their own, the training costs of their own.
Details of their pay have been hard to come by.
It was absolutely outrageous. I found out that basically 20 Hungarian workers have been brought out here on 457 visas, haven't received pay slips for 4.5 months. They've received no information from their employer on what they're actually entitled to and what wages they would be paid out here. All the training courses the boys did here, they were never given any information in Hungarian.
The construction union's rebel HANLON says it's clear the men have been exploited.
They get paid when the employer pays them in a Hungarian bank account. The money there that they're supposed to get under Australian conditions would be nearly double and a half of what they're actually getting.
Well, you can see the size of this place. It's a huge place, you know. It's very, very big, and these workers are working in there, and obviously it's very dangerous work because they're working right to the height of the building, right to the very height of it, and they're Hungarian workers with no interpreter on the site, and it makes it very difficult for them to bring up any safety issues.
This is where the Hungarians have been assembling metal racks inside this enormous shed for the principal contractor, German multinational Schaefer. The company is fitting out a giant, fully automated warehouse like this one for the Australian supermarket chain IGA. Neither Schaefer nor the site's owner, Metcash, would allow 730 to show film inside the shed. But for the CFMEU's State Secretary, Brian Parker, it's been an accident waiting to happen.
What are they doing? If we're inside there now, we're not allowed to go inside there, but they're building rigging all the way up to the roof, are they?
Well, you can see all the material on the outside here. That's what they're using to put together. They're rigging the work all the way to the top. It's going to be like shelving, but it's mainly to stack like pallets and a process that they go through there. But it's all going to be robotics. All robotics are running this whole structure in the end once it's completed. But to build it, it's highly dangerous. They're working at heights, extreme heights, and they haven't got anybody to interpret to. They've got issues about safety and about their concerns. There's no one to talk to because there's no one that speaks the language.
Recently, one worker was injured by a piece of metal which lodged in his eye.
Now, what he was told was, don't worry about it, it'll get better, there's no need for intervention, blah, blah, blah. Nevertheless, that was easy for them to say it wasn't their eye.
1 or 2 finger.
He's believed to have lost 20% of his vision and may require surgery.
He'd been told off the employer, oh, well, you have to pay for this yourself out of your own medical insurance. There's been no help by the employer whatsoever.
And that's travel insurance, isn't it?
That's travel insurance, that's correct. That's travel insurance, even though these injuries were done in the place of work. The union has got massive concerns here about the training and qualifications that have been given to these workers.
There are also deep suspicions about the trade certificates that have been issued to the Hungarian workers.
They've got dogging tickets, rigging tickets, scaffolding tickets, driving of a crane to 3 tonnes. These gentlemen have not got the qualifications even to speak up to level 5 English, which is a standard requirement to be able to communicate, to be able to get these sort of tickets and any educational outcome. These gentlemen haven't got it.
Excuse me, gentlemen, Matt Peacock. 7:30 asked the companies involved for a comment.
We will provide a statement later.
Okay, I'd like to know what obligation you feel to comply with Australian
I think
employment.
we will provide a statement later.
Well, can you tell me how these workers could be employed if they don't even speak English?
I think we will provide a statement later.
Could you just tell me, were they covered by workers' compensation?
I don't know what I can say apart from we will provide a statement later.
And they did. The principal contractor, Schaefer, says it was totally unaware of the Asmont workers' claims until they were raised in the media, and that it's as deeply concerned as anyone about them. And what about the company Asmont, also a European-based multinational that actually employs these workers, 3 of whom it's already sent home? It says it has every intention to comply with all Australian industrial rules and regulations and will do everything necessary to ensure the claims will be satisfactorily addressed as speedily as possible.
We have 4 companies that do this work looking to make redundancies right now.
Here in Blacktown?
Here in Blacktown, in the heart of Blacktown, when unemployment's at its greatest. You know, when youth unemployment is huge, how the locals like it. Oh, isn't that great?
It's a sore point, especially for the Australian unemployed here in Western Sydney.
It's the tip of the iceberg. There's no doubt that this is happening right across the country, you know, in places like this, you know, and other places as well, where 457 visas have been exploited.
Matt Peacock there.